Alright guys, Stranger Things Volume 2 finally came out. We did it. We waited the full month. We succumbed to their silly release schedule. And here we are a month later. We already forgot about the show. And sure enough, on Christmas at about 5 p.m. when everyone was getting ready to just chill out and go to bed and eat some dinner, surprise, Stranger Things is out. Yeah, the thing you feel like doing most, watching Stranger Things on Christmas. Yep. Originally, I was kind of stoked on this release schedule. I was like, yeah, we're going to be able to watch it on the holidays. And then I realized, yeah, waiting a month after that crazy cliffhanger from Volume 1, Season 5, probably not the best idea. And then sure enough, the hype was kind of dialed back a little bit. But I started it last night, watched all three episodes, and I gotta say, guys, I'm a little disappointed, man. I'm a little disappointed, and I've been seeing the narrative, floating around on the internet. Like, I'm not the only one. Clearly, there's a lot of people with some big problems. And yeah, there was just some things that didn't really sit right with me. But not only that, I feel like the main issue, I can kind of look past some of the main plot points that didn't feel right with me. But the main thing that really bothered me was the fact that these three episodes, I feel like next to nothing happened. Next to nothing happened. It was like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, if not more, of just straight exposition. Like, bro, I swear, there will be times where I'm like finally starting to get locked into the plot, like, okay, this is getting good, let's go, let's go. And then the characters like sit down and they're like, wait, but guys, I have to say this exposition really quick. And it's like a fucking 20-minute thing of them just like talking and yapping, and I'm like, bro, are we seriously doing this? Trying to have a heartfelt moment, and it's like, man, you really feel the fact that we have about 20 fucking main characters in this show. Like, you have to spend time on every single one of these main characters, and the fact that they have refused to kill off any of these characters up until this point has just made it feel so bloated, to where all the emotional storylines between the characters and the relationships are starting to get it's just starting to get too much. And when you have all these plot lines to wrap up involving the Upside Down and the Abyss now, and all this stuff, like how is Will connected to it, what is Vecna's real plan, how does the Mind Flayer play all into it, like when you have all this stuff you're trying to wrap up, but you're also trying to spend time on the characters' relationships, holy shit. It just whips you back and forth, and you're getting into the plot, and then the characters just drag it down. Man, it feels like this batch of 3 episodes just went nowhere. And now we're kind of in this place that really scares me. We have about 2.5 hours left of the show, and we got to wrap up everything. We got to have an exciting conclusion. We have to have a satisfying wrap up of every single character's arc, like Steve, Dustin, Mike, Elle, the 1-8, who, don't even get me started on her. They should have just kept her out, okay? We don't need to bring back the most boring character in the show, okay? That was clearly a mistake. It was the worst reviewed episode in the show. So why are we bringing her back? Okay, anyways. Hopper, who's been completely pushed to the side. Joyce, completely pushed to the side. Yeah, we gotta wrap up way too much stuff, guys. I don't have a good feeling about this. For a show that has captured the zeitgeist as much as Stranger Things has for the past 10 years, it's just not looking too good for the satisfying conclusion. Volume 1 was great. I really liked it. I think it built the hype perfectly, and it set up the success for Volume 2. But man, I'm just really disappointed where this went. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into a little bit of the characters, the actual scenes of the show that bothered me. So I should probably take notes for these types of videos, but here we go. Okay, I'm gonna start with Nancy and Jonathan. Okay, right? Nancy and Jonathan, in my mind, they're clearly gonna die right there when they shoot. Spoilers. When Nancy shoots the little anomaly thing, and Dustin's like, no, guys, don't do it. it's a trap, blah blah blah, it's gonna kill you. I'm like, oh yeah, they're cooked, they're cooked. And then, they play up this whole scene of them like breaking up, but you also, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this is their final moment. Like, I didn't even think they were breaking up for a long ass time. I thought they were just getting stuff off their chest and then they were gonna like die in each other's arms. And I was like, you know what? That's a very fitting death. And it's about damn time that we kill off a couple characters because I swear to God, Stranger Things has gotten to this point where I really didn't want it to get to. Where it's like, yeah, nobody fucking dies unless they're a brand new character. It just kind of takes me out of it. It makes the stakes feel way less. It makes it feel like there aren't any consequences. It's not even really dangerous out there. It's always happy-go-lucky. Everyone makes it out alive. So at this point, I'm thinking like, okay, damn, this is the first set of characters they're gonna kill. Like Nancy and Jonathan, they're gonna die in each other's arms. It's gonna be tragic. They were going through their relationship issues, but they're figuring it out, and that's the last thing that they'll ever do. Kind of cute, like kind of fitting for their death. And it would have really sent Steve for a whirlwind. It would have sent Mike for a whirlwind. Like Will, Joyce. Oh man, that would have been rough. But like, that's what this is about, right, guys? Like, this is an adult show. If you think back to season 1, like, this is an adult show with adult themes, or at least it's supposed to be. Now it's more akin to like Marvel schlock. Marvel, like, oh god. Like, oh god. Okay, so that was one thing that bothered me. It's like, oh, okay, they're not gonna die. I guess they just broke up? It felt like they kind of just figured out their issues right there, but I guess they broke up. I don't know. That's a whole can of worms. But it really was like, my emotions were all over the place when I was watching that. Like, what's going on? Why are they like, Nancy's just shitting on Jonathan. Like, Steve has better hair than you, and he's like way fucking hotter than you, and he is, makes me laugh. So you're kind of like a piece of shit. But like, you know what? I still was never in love with Steve, okay? Absolutely absurd for her to say that when they're on their deathbed. Like, bro, come on. Jesus. Anyways, that really bugged me. Another thing that bugged me was the whole coming out thing for Will, which, I knew needed to happen, and it felt like they were going to get it right when it was just Will and Joyce. And then Mike walks in, and I'm like, yeah, Mike can be here too. Mike can be here too. Like, Will's gonna have his moment finally, which, we all knew bro was gay. Like, we all knew since 2 seasons ago, probably in season 3. So that's one thing. They've been milking this whole plot line with Will, like, hiding his sexuality for a long time. But they finally, when there's one episode left of the show, they decide, oh, this is the time to do it. Because Vecna showed him a vision that his family won't accept him if he's gay. It's just a little lazy, bro. It feels like they're kind of like, oh god, don't even get me started on that whole thing. But anyways, yeah, all of a sudden everyone's in there with Will coming out, like Murray, Hopper, fucking Steve, these dudes that haven't even talked to him like ever before. They're just like, okay, yeah, we're kind of like on a time crunch. Like, Vecna's gonna bring the worlds together tonight, and we got to get the hell out of here. But I'm watching some kid come out. Like, what? The world's ending, and bro, everyone gathers around Will to like listen to him say like, I don't like girls. It just feels a little corny, guys. It feels corny. It felt forced, and it felt like this was not the time to do this. You should have done this probably at the end of season 4, but literally any other time in season 5 where you had a bit more time to spare. But no, you wait until the last second to do this shit. Are you kidding me? It just further took away from the plot at hand. Like, this is supposed to be the end of the show. Like, shit's about to be going down, and we're doing this? Just, come on. One more thing that really bothered me, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, is like, when Max made it back to the red place where she could like go back to the real world, her and Holly, they were just strolling in there. Strolling like, oh, we made it. Oh, look at that. Wow. When in the real world, like, shit was going down. Like, and plus Max had already been there twice, had not made it out, but she was just taking her sweet time. And she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Holly, this is like my way back home. Your way back home, you're kind of screwed." So then she gives this like 20-minute monologue of how Holly's like hella goated and she can figure it out herself. So you're on your own, bitch. Later, peace. Like, and that was like when the Demodogs were like surrounding Lucas and Max and Robin and all them, and like the climax of that episode was like peaking, and then you give this 20 fucking minute monologue of just like nothing really, just telling Holly that she's like goated. Took me out of it for sure, and not to mention things that have bothered me throughout the show were just kind of like throughout the entire show, I'm saying, or at least for the past couple seasons, were just on full display this season, especially this volume. Like characters finishing each other's sentences, the plans that they come up with, just so goofy, like so Marvel coded, but like worse. Like, oh, it was right in front of me this whole time. I was popping my popcorn, and I realized that time-space continuum, blah blah blah. Like, and then they all finish each other's sentences. Like, this is not how real life works, guys. I'm sorry, but like the older I get, the more I can appreciate good dialogue, and this show, it lacks in the dialogue department, or at least it has for the last couple seasons. Season 1, peak. Season 2, good. Season 3, I think, is still the worst season. That might be a hot take, but I thought that season was garbage. Season 4 was a return to form. Season 5, I don't know yet, guys. The finale could still fix stuff. Like I said, I'm a glass half full type of guy. I don't want to act like it's all over yet. It's not. They could wrap things up. But, like, again, another thing, like, if someone dies, they're going to have to spend some time on that, too. And you only have 2.5 hours left. And if no one dies, then, like, bro, what kind of show is this? I always go back to Lost, where it's like, that show is realistic. If you guys haven't watched Lost, you need to watch it. Because it's realistic, the plans are great, characters aren't finishing each other's sentences left and right. It's great. And, people die throughout the whole show, so you feel the consequences. You feel that there's risk. It makes each interaction and each like tense moment that much more exciting. And this show, unfortunately, I find myself this season just being like, damn, I just keep getting let down. No one's dying, and I don't want to be like dark or anything, but like no, there's no consequences. So it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. I realized a second later after I finished editing this video that I didn't talk about anything that I actually enjoyed. So just to briefly go over a couple things, I did really enjoy every scene with Dustin and Steve. I think both Joe Keery and Gaten Matarazzo are great actors, two of the best on the show, and their scenes together are just, they remain undefeated. They remain two of the most likable characters, and I like their relationship. I understand why they got in their, little argument. I can't believe they actually fucking batted it out a little bit. And I'm a little nervous. I think Steve or Dustin or both of them might die, so we'll see if they actually have the balls to make that decision. But yeah, I like that. I like their relationship. What else? What else? Some of the scenes were kind of exciting, like the Demodogs in the hospital was fun. But honestly, yeah, it's pretty much just Steve and Dustin. They're kind of carrying everything right now. So hopefully they get more screen time in the last episode, but I wouldn't count on it. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on Season 5 down below, and I'll make another video when the show is over and talk about everything. So yeah, peace out, guys. That's about it. Later.